For this exercise, I like to do 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps. When doing it, I like to have about 30 to 60 second rest time in between sets. That way I can keep the pump going good. If you're watching my form, I'm coming up with a straight arm and then turning about halfway through, and then pausing for about a half a second at the top, just to make sure I get that squeeze in there because I feel that helps the most. For this exercise, I like to do 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps. When you're coming up, you want to keep your elbows up, and when you get to the top, you want to get a nice little squeeze in there. I always like pausing with my exercises. I feel it helps with really getting that focus or isolation on that muscle. This exercise is a 4 set to 12 to 15 reps. When doing this, you can really do it on anything that allows you to slant, but for me at my gym, using the lat pull down machine and putting the handle on there is easiest. So what I do is I move my feet inward, let my body hang. And if you're watching my form, I never let my arm touch my leg. I like to let it hang dead and then stop for a second and go back up. It helps with not bouncing and it lets more isolation in the deltoid. This exercise, I like to do 5 sets of 12 to 15 reps. That way I get the posterior deltoids a little bit more. And when doing this, once I hit the bottom, I completely stop instead of letting them hit. That way it doesn't get that bouncing action to help me bring them back up. I really like this exercise because I find it brings together the deltoids, the tricep, and the lats really well. When doing these, I like to do 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps. And if you're watching my form, I'm not doing a reverse fly, as a lot of people may do with these. I'm standing in close, right in between. That way I'm just pulling it down. And I find that getting the squeeze at the bottom is pretty essential and not allowing for a bounce or a cheat rep because that takes away from working your muscles properly. This exercise, I like to do 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps. And when doing them, I call him the modified Arnold because Arnold's, he goes all the way down. I'm stopping a little bit below 90 and then just turning my elbows in and then going back. I'm also getting a pause if you can see that. It's about a second long. I really like these and I like doing them towards the end of my workout because it makes them really hard and you don't even have to do heavy weight with them and you really get that burn in there too, so I really like doing these. For this exercise, I like to do 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps. And when doing it, I like to do it at the end of my workout as a finisher. And if you're watching my form, I'm pulling my elbows back and keeping my wrists up and just pulling the rope into my face essentially. And remember, for this whole entire workout, each exercise should only have about 30 to 60 seconds rest time in between sets. That way you're moving all the way through at a pretty good pace and you're keeping your heart rate up and you're keeping the pump going, because the pump is pretty essential. And remember, the most important thing is form, so make sure your form is as best as it can be.